Greetings, my scattered sisters and brothers in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you wherever you find yourself scattered today, and that you know that his presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. Well, Jesus has just breathed his last from the cross. The Roman centurion has recognized and confessed that surely this was the Son of God. And then Mark tells us about some women who were there. And so I'm picking it up at Mark chapter 15, verse 40. There were also women looking on from a distance, among whom were Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James the younger and of Joseph, and Salome. When he was in Galilee, they followed him and ministered to him, and there were also many other women who came up with him to Jerusalem. Now, this is kind of interesting if we step back and look at the big picture of the Gospel of Mark. The second miracle that Jesus does, back in chapter 1, Peter takes him home to where his mother-in-law is sick. And Jesus heals Peter's mother-in-law. And she gets up and she waits on them. She serves them. And now here we are at the end of the Gospel of Mark. And Jesus has just died on the cross. And we have a report about women who are serving Jesus. Mark kind of assumes that his readers know who these women are. He mentions Mary Magdalene, but we don't know the story of Mary Magdalene from the Gospel of Mark. Later on in chapter 16, we'll learn that Jesus had cast 7 demons out of her. And then we get Mary, the mother of James the younger and of Joseph. And again, we don't know exactly who these people are, but it sounds like Mark expects his readers to know. And then we hear about Salome, and from the Gospel of Matthew, it sounds like Salome is probably the wife of Zebedee, the mother of James and John. And so we have these women and many others who were with Jesus and came up with him from Jerusalem. And Mark reports that they served Jesus, that they cared for Jesus all throughout his Galilean ministry, as well as on the journey to Jerusalem and likely while they were in Jerusalem. The word that gets used for serving is the word that we get the word deacon from, or deaconess from. And so these women become a model for us in caring for Jesus. Discipleship means caring for Jesus. Yes, absolutely following Jesus and learning from Jesus and putting his ways into practice, but actually tangibly caring for Jesus. And I think about this in terms, okay, well, how do we care for Jesus in tangible ways? And today we have the opportunity to care for the body of Christ, for the church in tangible ways. So these women gave of their time, they gave of their skills and gifts, they gave of their resources, and they tangibly cared for Jesus and his disciples. And they become a model for us in terms of that's what we need to be doing. There needs to be tangible ways in which we're caring for Jesus, caring for the body of Jesus, the church, giving of our time, giving of our resources, meeting very practical needs. And so my question for you today, the question that I'm pondering, how well am I following these women as they follow Jesus? How well am I following these women as they cared for Jesus? And my prayer is that God would grace you and me to follow them well in caring for Jesus in tangible ways and caring for the body of Christ. And it may be through giving, it may be through time, it may be through encouraging words, but I would just challenge you to pray, Lord, help me to follow you and to care for you well, just as these women did. Well, God bless. Have a great day. May the Lord lead you and empower you in caring for Jesus the way that these women did. God bless.